there he is in the defense of a butterfly knife. Now, who goes out and cuts up butterflies?
Yeah, so it was a interesting case to jump in on, but I wrote amicus brief on behalf of Knife Rights Foundation, Firearms Policy Coalition, and the one and only San Diego County Gun Owners Association. So to give a little background on this case, so just like in California, Hawaii has very strict weapon laws, not only with regard to firearms, but with regard to knives and other self-defense items. And it's funny, I always tell people this. I guarantee you, if anyone in California or Hawaii just let me into their house and search through their house, I guarantee you I could find some type of item, weapon, or knife that is illegal to possess in essentially every house. It's kind of like things you can buy on Amazon are illegal to possess in California, and just no one knows. And rarely the laws are enforced, unless you're already in trouble and they just happen to find that, prohibited item as well. But in Hawaii, they've banned the possession, the sale, the transfer, the importation, the manufacture of butterfly knives since 1999. And anyone who isn't quite sure what a butterfly knife is, it's also called a balisong. These are the knives where it's a split handle knife, which you see in the movies. They flip it open and they can do some fancy little tricks with it, and it opens up the knife. So the state of Hawaii has banned those for since 1999. And, a lot of people kind of overlook the fact that, the Second Amendment is the right to keep and bear arms. It's not the right to keep and bear firearms or guns or muskets. It's arms. And that is quite literally all arms that can be used for self-defense and other lawful purposes. So knives are protected by the Second Amendment. They are arms under the Second Amendment. And, for a long time now, states have kind of gotten by with banning these, knives and other objects without having a pushback when it comes to Second Amendment legal challenges. And so we jumped in on a case which actually did challenge that.
That's awesome. I read it, and I'm very, very proud that you wrote that on behalf of San Diego County Gun Owners. Now, if for a gun owner out there that's listening, why should they care about this? Should they, think, well, gee, I'm never going to own a butterfly knife, or does this affect them?
Well, yeah. So that's a great question because, yeah, you may be a gun owner or you may be a knife owner even, but you have no interest in ever owning a butterfly knife. But the same arguments that the state uses to, ban firearms, they just recycle those same useless arguments to ban all knives or certain knives. And the thing is, when you're challenging these laws under the Second Amendment, you're challenging the state's legal argument. So, for example, in this case, the state was saying, oh, well, we got to ban butterfly knives because they're associated with criminal activity and gang members. Now, we did a little delving into, the state's evidence as a part of our brief, and we found that the only evidence the state offered that, butterfly knives are dangerous or unusual or associated with crime is before the law even passed in 1999. So back when butterfly knives were legal in the state of Hawaii, the police department said, oh, we commonly find these at swap meets for sale, and we always find these knives on, juveniles and even gang members. And the funny thing about that is that's not evidence of knives being used in crimes. In fact, it's evidence that these are commonly owned knives that are bought and sold at swap meets, that everyone that they stop, all these kids and even gang members have them. There's no actual evidence of these knives ever being used in a crime or being associated with actual criminal activity. All the state's evidence was, well, we just found a couple of these and we watched a couple 1980s, action movies and we think they're really dangerous. When in fact, when you open up a butterfly knife, it's the same as any other knife. It has a pointy end and a sharp blade, and that's about it. And so it was really interesting to see that the state just kind of assumes that they can ban these things, and they've offered no real evidence to support that. And that's what these challenges are important about, because by challenging these laws and showing, like, look, the state has no evidence to support any type of ban like this, why would why would a court uphold this type of law? It's the same thing when it comes to guns. When a state comes in and says, well, we're going to ban this gun. Well, why are you going to ban that gun? It's just a gun. It's the same as any other gun. There's nothing different or special about it. The fact that you hold your rifle with a pistol grip rather than a, quote, featureless grip, does it change the gun? It doesn't. So there's no actual evidence that butterfly knives are any different than regular knives. And similarly, there's no actual evidence that AR-15 with pistol grip is any different from an AR-15 without a pistol grip. And so it's a good way to challenge the state's arguments in related cases to show that, look, this is how the Second Amendment needs to be applied, and it needs to be applied the same way to all arms.
Well, John, let me ask you this, because here's what's clicking around in this little fuzzy brain of mine. If you could ban that particular knife, would a Bowie knife, would a samurai sword, would a lancer, would all of these be close behind?
Well, yeah, and that's the slippery slope kind of argument that we're talking about, because the state has gone forward and said, well, these knives are dangerous and we don't like them, so we're banning them. Well, we've already shown that there's no evidence for why they should be banned whatsoever. So if another Hollywood movie comes out where they use a different type of knife and makes it look like a scary thing, yeah, maybe, Bowie knives are going to be next.
What about a kitchen knife? What about a kitchen knife? I mean, come on, I cut myself on a kitchen knife.
Well, a great example is in England, in London. They don't have the right to bear arms. You're not allowed to have firearms,
right?
And they're prohibited all over. You can't get them over there. But so the knife crime has dramatically increased all over London and England, to the point where now the courts over there are trying to prohibit knives completely, up to the point where there's judges over there suggesting that they need to have state-backed programs where you come in and bring your kitchen knife to a police station, where they'll grind down the tip of your knife to prevent stabbing.
Good. That's good. I feel safer already.
That up, but that's a real thing. Like,
well, didn't they just have a mass, cutting up in England just today or yesterday, where somebody went in, killed somebody with a knife, and cut a bunch.
A mass stabbing.
They did.
Sliced up 6 people. So
and their solution to that is to put, post office like boxes all over London where you can anonymously drop off your knife and turn it in.
Hey, they can have all of our post office boxes, all blue ones.
Yeah, we're done with ours.
Since we confiscated all ours, we had to sell them to England. All right, buddy. Hey, we got to let you go, but that's an unbelievable subject matter. Do you stay up late at night coming up with these things? I mean,
oh yeah, late nights all day long.
Yeah, well, that's because you got kids.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Hey, it's always good talking to you, folks. I'm telling you, if you ever get yourself in a situation, you want to go to DillonLawGP.com or call him direct at 760-642-7150. John Dillon, the expert when it comes to gun laws. Thanks, buddy. Have a good holiday tomorrow.
You too. See ya.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We come back a whole lot more right here on Gun Owners Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.